So I'm trying to put together some scary, creepy, Halloween-esque type movies because you guys watching YouTube fully expect every YouTuber who talks about movies to have some kind of horror lineup around Halloween. Well, this is my half-assed effort at it. On Hulu, I watched the recently added Colossal starring Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis, directed by some dude named Nacho who's from Spain. But I think this is an American / South Korean movie. Now, I was interested in this because, honestly, it sounded unique. It sounded like something I hadn't really heard about before, and it's in execution. It's a little bit Twilight Zone and Death Becomes Her. So, what we have here is Anne Hathaway is this New Yorker chick, or, well, she's from a small town, and Jesus, it's a big hawk. I hope it doesn't swoop down on me. Christ. Oh, don't come this way. Oh, shit. I'm gonna start going this way over here. So, anyways, she's from a small town, but she has this. I have a bad feeling about this. Jesus Christ. She ends up in New York City, gets evicted by her boyfriend. She likes to drink. She's a mess. Lost some kind of writing job. Like I said, she's a disaster. Well, she gets evicted by her boyfriend, goes back home. Her parents' home has been vacated. There's no furniture. She's sleeping on the floor and stuff. She's walking around. She's gonna go buy some kind of like inflatable mattress. Gets a ride from a guy, Jason Sudeikis. Used to be school friends. He has a bar his dad used to own, and Anne Hathaway's totally out of it. She's like, oh, so you worked there with your dad? Oh, he died. Oh, I'm so sorry. It must have been rough and rough. She died first. You were at the funeral? There is a bit of comedy in this. She ends up kind of drunk, wakes up the next day, finds out that there was this monster attack in Seoul, South Korea. And it's like, oh, that's pretty weird. But then she starts seeing the creature, and like everybody in the world's really enamored because like how often does a giant monster appear? And it just kind of materializes and then vanishes. Just whoop, some cloud of electricity, and then boom, it's gone. So that sort of thing's going down, and it's confusing. But then she starts to realize that she blanks out, and then this creature appears, and it starts doing things she does. She maps things out, figures out where she's standing when this stuff goes down, like scratches her head, the monster scratches its head. Does some sign gestures, that's it. She's figured it out. She tells the guys at the bar, none of them really believe her. There's a real quiet guy she thinks is cute. She shacks up with later. And it's like, that's real random. Nothing really comes of this. You know, oh hey, she's so strong and empowered by her sexuality, she can sleep with whoever she wants. She doesn't have to look sexy, this movie. There's a lot of feminist crap, okay? You're gonna have to accept that, I guess. And in some ways, maybe that downgrades the movie slightly. But she goes and shows the guys where she's standing in this park, doing these gestures. And then they watch the live feed, and the monster's there, and it's doing the same stuff. And then Jason Sudeikis walks behind her, and now a robot appears, a giant robot. So he's the robot, she's the monster. She falls down. She thinks she crashed down on some people, but then they learn, oh, hey, you know, this is getting pretty serious. A lot of people are getting injured and hurt, killed. You know, you're a robot, I'm a monster. But then things start to get a little Death Becomes Her. They start abusing this power. It's a little odd. There was a kind of a mistake here. She appears and they get some guy to translate Korean. Write down, hey, it was a mistake, I'm sorry, won't happen again. Writes that down in the ground at the park, and it appears, the monster writes it down in front of all the people in Korea, right? Well, though this is the case, I'm thinking, international press is covering this. Somebody's going to speak English. You could have easily wrote this stuff out in English. You didn't need to be getting more people in on this. That was bullshit. Honestly, it was. So, as much as I didn't like that part, I'm thinking I can kind of look past that because this is fairly unique. Jason Sudeikis wants to shack up with her, but she's nailing this cute guy. Didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Oh man, why are there people everywhere? Shit. Yeah, I don't need to be staying there with all these girls playing soccer. So, yeah, he's getting revenge. He's starting to stomp on the ground and stuff. He's causing mayhem, and he's going to torture her. Her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call him, shows up to town, drinks at the bar, and he's ordering her around. Hey, get a new drink, do all this. Because she knows if she doesn't do it, he's going to start killing people in Korea and completely get away with it because no one would ever believe the truth. So he's torturing her. He lets off this big firework in the place. He's showing how dangerous he is. He's really flipped. And you're kind of thinking, wow, I didn't really expect Jason Sudeikis to be the bad guy here. But this is where it's kind of like Death Becomes Her. Like they're abusing their power in a sense. And you have a fight. You know, they're starting to box it out. And then they have a giant robot monster fight. People are really cheering for the monster now. Even though, hell, it probably had to equal death toll. But they're slugging it out and stuff. And the robot beats up the monster. You know, he's a guy. He beat her up. She's not action chick. She's not Scarlett Johansson in every movie. Though she was Catwoman, right? Yeah, she looks like she's got more thunder thighs than she did as Catwoman. I'll tell you that much. But, yeah, he says, you're going to keep showing up here. Every day you don't show up for work, I'm gonna go there at the park. And they have a slugfest. It's almost morning. They're beating each other up in her house. She realizes the truth about how all this happened. They were walking to school. She had this exhibit on Seoul, Korea. It flew up in the air over this fence. He went to go get it. She went after him. He found it, smashed it. That made her angry. Some lightning struck, and it kind of embodied these characters that were on him, these action figures. And maybe in some way brought them to South Korea while they were unconscious. I don't know. But she leaves. It looks like she's going to go back to New York City. She doesn't. She goes to South Korea. And Jason Sudeikis is ready to go do some damage. She shows up, confronts him in person, and uses the other direction of it. So by being in South Korea, she's able to make her monster appear in the park to terrorize him. He's trying to run away. She scoops him up. How you could possibly aim this? You can't. She doesn't have the monster's vision. How can she pick him up without crushing him? You can't judge it. There's no force feedback there. It's bullshit. But it's a unique enough story. The effects are okay for what it is. You know, you can't really describe this movie to anybody. And it has some kind of funny moments. But yeah, this is actually a little better than I expected it to be, you know? He's yelling at her, put me down. But she knows that if she lets him go, he's just going to do this again, right? So she throws him, even though she couldn't hear him yelling at her, I'm assuming. She tosses him. I'm assuming this kills him. The robot gets thrown away, everybody celebrates. I'm not sure if people realize it was her behind this or not. Oh my gosh, why is there gotta be so many people walking towards me? I don't know if they realized it was Anne Hathaway that disposed of the monster. Some of them seem to. She's walking back, heads into a bar, and this lady's trying to speak some English. Hey, you want something to drink? She's like, yeah. Oh, like she's trying to remember that, hey, she got away from booze. I was a little misled thinking that maybe the booze caused this. Like when she blacks out, she becomes a monster. And that way it's like a metaphor. But there isn't a metaphor here. It's, hey, if you walk by this park at 8:05 in the morning, you can become a monster over there. I kind of feel like there needed to be an actual metaphor. But still, I kind of like this movie. I recommend it. It was a bit of a surprise. One of the more newer, uniquer concepts, though it's not fully integrated. You know, I give Colossal 3 out of 4 stars.